time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Throughout West Bloomfield, there are several different locations where you can learn quite a bit about our community's history. And just recently, the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society put together a tour of one of the most historical places in Greater West Bloomfield, the Pine Lake Marina. I had the opportunity to attend their recent tour to learn some information about the marina and to hear what people are taking away.
Oh, we had a terrific exchange of information. People that are interested in a little bit of history behind Pine Lake and the marina, as well as the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Hopefully they learn about the Girls Friend Society, which was also on the lake. We also talked a little bit about the motor club that eventually turned into the Pine Lake Country Club. So we learned about that as well, and as well as the history of the marina itself. Recreation and boating, and thus the inception or the creation of the marina is a mainstay here on Pine Lake.
What stood out the most to you tonight out of everything you learned?
I was really interested to hear that there was an interurban railroad. I had no idea about the light rail system that used to be here, and kind of wish it was still here because it sounds really great to be able to hop on a trolley and just to go to Pontiac or Detroit. And just really interesting to learn about the progression of things and how we see those footprints around us still. Yeah, so it was a really interactive program. We got to be in a beautiful marina and see the lake and meet people and hear about their own personal stories and history of their families and experiences that they've had. And it's just really cool to walk, into somewhere that you've driven past and didn't really think about and know that it's history right here.
The whole township is very old, and it holds lots and lots of history. There's so many historical events and buildings and peoples and societies that have existed here in the township for all these years. And it's so terrific that the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society brings to light all of the rich history that we all share.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really an untapped resource that we have in our community that people don't realize. There are these amazing people, amazing volunteers, and amazing resources all around us, and really, gives you a view of the history that you're standing on and driving by, and just really contributes to a richer understanding of your world.
It is a great resource, and you learn so much about history everywhere you go. For more information about future historical events in Greater West Bloomfield, make sure to head over to gwbhs.org to learn more. The people of West Bloomfield are still in celebration after the West Bloomfield Lakers' recent victory over Rochester Adams 12-6. Not the highest scoring game, but a win nonetheless, bringing the Lakers' record to 3-0. An amazing start to the season. Our very own Tyler Kieft recently met up with Lakers head coach Zach Hilbers on This Week in Laker Football to hear his thoughts on the team's early success and the game plan going forward.
I'm Tyler Kieft, joined by head coach Zach Hilbers. 3 weeks, 3 wins for the head coach entering his 3rd season at the helm, and a pretty impressive win this time around. Much more competitive than those first 2 weeks, but kind of what you expected seeing Adams come into town in that 12-6 victory.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle. I mean, I would have liked maybe a little bit more room for air, a little bit of breathing room, but we knew it would be close, we knew it would be tough, and it was.
that final drive kind of looked like the looming nightmare from last year all over again. They got the ball with most of the fourth quarter left. They're driving up the field. They're inching their way up the field. They're milking the clock. You're finally able to force them into a fourth down and make a key play on fourth and short. What was the speech to your team? What was the message to your team as you went into that final drive, and especially those last few plays before you made the big stop?
Well, I guess if you go back to last year, like you mentioned, there's a lot of similarities there, and we gave him credit last year. He said, well, it was a close game, but when it came time to make winning plays, they made winning plays time and time again. So the challenge was to be the team, that's making those plays this year, step up and make the plays in winning time. And we were able to do that. We actually got them into a 3rd and long. We felt pretty good, and they had a great call, and they ran a really nice counter, made it 4th and 2, which is obviously a little bit more manageable. But the kids stepped up and did what they had to do, where a year ago I think they converted 3 4th downs on that, fateful drive.
This season, 115 minutes and 10 seconds of football, no scores on your defense. After 3 games, just 6 points have been put up on the board. And in all 3 of those games, your defense has forced a safety on your opposing offense. Just how dominant has this defense been from your perspective, both as a coach and just objectively as someone who's seen a lot of high school football over the years?
Well, when they're locked in, they're really, really good. We've had mental lapses, I would say, in each game. Against Forts in week 1, they happened to be called back over penalty, but we knew we had to fix some of that, and give us credit. We've done a really good job of that. But it was still kind of a mental lapse that led to Adams' touchdowns. Great throw, great catch, but I think if we play it a little bit better, still might be sitting at 0, and we might have had a little bit more breathing room there. But they really stepped up early in the game. We had that bad punt snap go over Jackson's head. He got kind of backed up there near our own goal line, and they stood up to the challenge and kept him out of the end zone.
Yeah, they did. They answered that really well. That was a really tough position to be in, especially against a team like Rochester Adams. As they inch into the red zone, that tends to be where they are the most dangerous. How proud of you were you of your 11 guys on that defensive drive to open up that game and take the momentum back after it got snatched out of your hands?
Oh, yeah, it was huge. Not only that, but kind of gives you the confidence that, if you can stop them inside the 3-yard line, 3 straight plays, that, you can stop them anywhere. And I think it really played true the rest of the game.
Coach Cameron came down from the booth at the end of the game as he's about to make his way to the field before time expires. He says to all of us in the booth, it looks like we're getting back to the old style of Laker defense out there. What is that really for this team, and how much has the senior leadership fit into remarking that vision for the younger players coming into the season?
Yeah, I think it kind of starts with the confidence that you can get the job done, and that comes with, a lot of experience. Those guys have played a lot of football, so things that maybe they were kind of thinking during the play in the past, now they can do it really instinctively, and that's going to always make you a little bit better of a football player. So between the experience and the leadership, I think it's really what has kind of shown through. And you know what? They wanted to be better. They wanted to be different. They wanted to be better. They wanted to take it up a step, and they really have.
A player that's stood out on the defensive side has been Jeremiah Benson. I mean, he was good last year. He was good a couple years ago, showed all those signs of promise. It really does look like the Minnesota commit is on a completely different level these first few weeks.
Yeah, he's been great. Both sides of the ball, he's been great. He's been pretty tired for most of the game, so hopefully his body's recovered and he's feeling good. But you hope kids take that big step their senior year. You see it every year with multiple kids, and I guess the really special teams, you have multiple players that take that leap.
We can't discount the offense either. They put up 12 points last week. Those were the 12 points you needed to get past Rochester Adams, but still, by and large, a pretty flawless offensive performance for this team. 75 yards in the air, 145 on the ground, averaging almost 3.5 yards per carry. A pretty solid offensive performance.
Yeah, I said it on, I think it was Channel 4 Friday morning when we had to go down there, Coach Petrito and I, for the interview. But when you play Rochester Adams, you almost have to beat them at their style. If you try to kind of go too fast and get them out of what they want to do, if you go 3 and out, you're not getting the ball back for 8 minutes. So a lot of our game plan was if they want to muck it up, we'll win the game in the mud with them. And that was our goal, and our offense did a really good job of doing that. So it wasn't the prettiest football probably, but we thought it's what we needed to do to win, and it worked.
You're going on the road now after 3 consecutive home games. You've had 3 very impressive wins, all kind of in different ways. How important have these first 3 weeks been to then contextualize the second part of the season where you start to bounce between going home and on the road?
Yeah, that's its own challenge going on the road. We haven't done it yet with this version of the team. Obviously, some of the players have, but it brings its own thing. Not only that, like it's a longer bus ride, kind of changes your schedule after school. So, that and the opponent kind of combine for a unique challenge.
Zach Hilber's with us on This Week in Laker Football. West Bloomfield coming off of a 12-6 victory in Week 3 at home against Rochester Adams, opening up OAA Red Division play 1-0 as they go on the road to Lake Orion this Friday. That game will be on the NFHS network. We'll have a link for you on civiccentertv.com/Lakersports. Coach, your lasting impressions from that Rochester Adams win, where it seemed again like the Lakers continue to take steps forward and play even more solid 48 minutes of football every week.
Yeah, it was a grind and it was a battle. That was the first time I think either team had really been tested in the fourth quarter. So I was really proud of how we stepped up and kind of finished the game, because it's going to happen again this year. We're going to need to finish 4 quarters of football and maybe even overtime. So I was just really proud of how we stepped up to that challenge for the first time this year.
Let's keep that momentum going. Now, as a reminder, this Friday, the Lakers will have their first away game of the season, heading over to face Lake Orion. Make sure to head over to civiccentertv.com/Lakersports to stay up to date on Laker news and to catch this week's edition of This Week in Laker Football, which includes an interview from star player Jamal Shakespeare. Once again, that's civiccentertv.com/Lakersports. The Dorothy and Peter Brown Jewish Community Adult Day Program will host its 9th annual dementia-friendly high holiday service on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield. The shortened 1-hour service is thoughtfully adapted to support individuals living with dementia and their families, featuring familiar melodies and prayers designed to spark memory and comfort. Debbie Benuni, the Senior Adult Services Director for Gesher Human Services, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Love to have you with us. Really interested in hearing about this service that's coming up soon. This is the 9th year of the dementia-friendly high holiday service. How has the program evolved since it first began 9 years ago?
So originally when we started with this program, we rotated locations and we had it at different congregations and centers, and we had different people leading the service. And we have found what we think is the ideal location and leader of our service for this time. And for the last few years, we've had it locally at Fleischman Residence. And we've also had the same leader, Cantor Pamela Schiffer, has led the service for us for the last several years. So we've experimented and learned new things and have found what really works for our group to have a meaningful experience.
I love that. You've tested the waters a few times, you've changed the formula a bit, and you've got the perfect recipe for everyone to enjoy the celebration. Now, what inspired the Brown Center to create something like this in the first place, a high holiday service designed for individuals with dementia?
So, working with people that are living with brain changes, we understand different needs that come up. Typically, a holiday service, depending on where you practice and spend your time, could be a 3-hour service, could be a 5-hour service. Most often it's in a sanctuary where the seats are immovable. There are times that the restrooms are further away. So the idea behind creating this service really was about finding a way to accommodate both the people that are experiencing and living with dementia, but also their families so that they could celebrate together. What makes the accessibility easier? What makes the ability to participate and stay for the service more available? So that's really why this service came about.
I love it. Always love to hear about great things to really help everyone in the community, especially those struggling with illnesses. Now, we touched on this just a second ago, but there are some unique accommodations that do help to make this service more comfortable and accessible for everybody. Could you go through some of those accommodations a little bit?
Sure. The first is knowledge. Everybody who's coming to the service, whether they have a diagnosis or they love somebody with a diagnosis or not, we all know that the service is geared toward understanding. So there's a compassion and an understanding between the people leading the service and the people attending the service and one another. And that's huge. The other issue is that we're not set up like a usual congregation in that there are set pews. We actually use chairs. And that way, if somebody has a walking device, a walker or a wheelchair, we're able to move the chairs so that people can sit with their family where they want to sit. We also have a restroom very nearby, so we're not asking people to walk further. We have room for people to stand if they need that movement and things like that. So we try to create an environment that can accommodate as many different needs as we can think of.
I love it. Now, as we said, this is the 9th year that this has been taking place, and there have been many families that have returned year after year to take this experience together. What kind of feedback have you received from them about the impact of this experience?
It is so special to talk with our families that come back year after year. I've had somebody say to me, "Oh, I knew that we weren't going to be able to go to services anymore. It just didn't fit our lifestyle, and now we're back. This is something that we've done for 50 years together, and we thought we weren't going to be able to do it anymore." I've had people who have come back and said, wow, my family member, my spouse, seems pretty closed in now. The disease has progressed, but they hear these melodies and I hear them singing, and it brings me back to those memories and that special place in our life, and it brings them out of their shell. So we've just had all different kinds of responses. They've all been very positive and pretty emotional too.
I'd imagine it would be a very emotional experience for everybody. For those just joining us, I'm talking with the Senior Adult Services Director for Gesher Human Services, Debbie Benuni, who's talking about the 9th annual Dementia-Free High Holiday Service that's going to be taking place at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. Now, it is important to note that this event it helps people beyond dementia, because you've mentioned that this service also supports adults with physical limitations. How do you design the space to meet their needs?
So it's like what I mentioned to you before. We use chairs and not pews. So if we need to move a chair so that somebody can get in with their walker or with their wheelchair, they can do that. We have entrances on both sides of the area that we're using, what we're considering the sanctuary, and you can get to a restroom going out of either side. Our aisles are larger so that, people are able to ambulate through them. We're just trying to make it as accessible as possible, regardless of what your needs are.
That's right. And you guys are also helping people who might not even be able to be there physically at the event, because you're also offering the service on Zoom to extend the reach to families outside of Metro Detroit. Talk about that for a little bit.
Absolutely. So we find, number one, it depends as people are changing with their dementia diagnosis, right? Is it that getting up and out of bed or getting dressed in the morning is difficult? Is it that being in a car, if we're 10 minutes away or 30 minutes away or 40 minutes away, is that something that makes it more difficult for someone to get there? Somebody who may have gotten a cold or an illness and doesn't want to be around other people, or is afraid to be around other people because they might get an illness that'll be harder for them to recover from. So we go ahead and offer people to join the service by Zoom, and that way they're able to protect their health or continue to recover from whatever health experience they're having, but also to celebrate the holiday and be a part of it.
I love it. Now we've heard what this event means for the families. I'm curious, what does it mean to you personally to see families celebrating the high holidays together in this more accessible setting?
Well, I would say it does a couple of things for me. Number one, it is so emotional. To be able to speak to the people that are coming and felt like they weren't going to have this experience again, and to be able to connect to, the holiest day of the year as a community, that gratitude that I see from people, the engagement when I see some people that I know who tend to be very quiet and reserved, and they're able to pray as a community. For me, that's very emotional and very special, but also it's very energizing. It reminds me why we do what we do and builds me up to continue to do it for another year.
Well, I can't wait to see this event continuing on for many years to come. I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up. And you've touched on this a little bit, but overall, how does this program reflect the mission of the Brown Center and its partnership between Gesher Human Services and Jewish Senior Life?
The whole idea behind the Brown Center is to serve people with cognitive altering diagnoses and their family care partners. And what this service does is it allows us to serve those parties together and allows us to create meaningful engagement between one another and the rest of the community. And it really does show that we're meeting people where they are and we're finding ways to bring them together. And it's really important work that we focus on.
It's the most important thing, and it's great to hear of your focus on everything that you are doing. Where can people go to learn a little bit more information about this event before its date?
So you can always go to our website, brownadultday.org. And if you go to our events tab on that page, you'll see all of the information about the High Holiday Service as well, and some other events that we have coming up to share with the community.
Can't wait to see it. Once again, the event is taking place on Sunday, September 28th at 11 a.m. at the Fleischman Residence Chapel in West Bloomfield. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Pleasure to talk with you as well. Great to hear of all of these services that are happening in West Bloomfield to help those struggling with illness. We're going to take a quick break right here on The Splash Live, jump into some more stories and more topics right after this. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Hello, my name is Danya Bazzi. I'm the superintendent of West Bloomfield School District. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on hitting the amazing milestone of 1 million viewers. Your involvement in our community doesn't go unnoticed. We thank you for keeping our residents and community engaged in the latest and greatest news and information. I'm Danya Bazzi, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. With school back in session, everyone is laser focused and looking ahead to plan out their academic future. And the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance is doing their part to help in any way that they can. Fall scholarship opportunities are currently available with the organization to provide financial assistance to families and to students who are already planning ahead for college. Just one of the many things the Youth Assistance does for students in our community. Here to tell us more is the Vice Chair of the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance, Emma Zirkel, as well as their caseworker, Lisa Shields. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, a really topical topic right now as we're heading back to school. Emma, I'm going to start with you. For those who may not be familiar, can you explain the mission of the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance and the role it plays in supporting local families?
Sure. West Bloomfield Youth Assistance is a project of the family courts in conjunction with our local municipalities and school districts and volunteers. And it is a program actually through every district in Oakland County, and it is exclusive to Oakland County. The goal of our program is to help students stay out of the juvenile or the justice system and how to keep them getting the services and support that they best need. We provide counseling and educational programs for both students and parents, and we have the benefit of being able to work with the families and not just the students in order to provide services.
That's absolutely right. You guys do a lot of work to help keep those students on a positive path and reduce the chances of them entering the justice system. Could you go into detail with that a little bit more?
Certainly. Although at some point I'll let Lisa, who's visiting with us today too, our caseworker, help us, and that's where she actually excels. Lisa, why don't you do this part?
Thank you. So as a caseworker, I receive referrals for many reasons. And a majority of those are prevention in nature. So those can be referrals made from parents, from school staff, even police and the prosecutor's office. So with youth assistance, I provide short-term, solution-focused counseling and referral services for families at no charge. And as Emma had mentioned, the other piece of our prevention programming is to provide programs for our families. So Emma will talk about our scholarships, but also that family education piece.
All great resources with the Youth Assistance. Thank you so much for that, Lisa. And as you just said, these services are provided at no cost to families. How do you ensure that financial barriers never get in the way of children receiving help?
As I said, our services, there is no charge for our services as the casework side. And with the scholarships, families qualify as long as they have free and reduced lunch, and they are able to provide their children to participate in extracurricular activities such as sports or dance or art classes, even driver's training. So these kinds of activities help to build a child's self-esteem, and which helps them to just be a stronger person.
I love it. All great things to help the kids in our community. Now, as I said earlier, fall scholarships are officially open for everybody this year. Emma, can you give us an overview of some of the opportunities that are available with the Youth Assistance this year?
Sure. So through our scholarships, you can apply for up to $250 towards any program. I mean, we have students that might apply for one of their sports teams, or they might apply for a dance class. And the benefit to the family is we also know that students that are busy are less likely to be getting into trouble. So in addition to building self-esteem and building connection to a community, they're also staying busy, all factors that are important for positive development in students.
Sounds like they provide so much for these students, and it's great to hear of everything you guys are doing. Lisa, when it comes to these scholarships, how would you say they align with the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance's overall mission to support and empower young people?
So as Emma said, it helps when young people are involved in their community. Again, it's that self-confidence piece, it's that self-esteem piece that helps that young person to feel empowered, to feel strengthened, and that's what young people need to have in order to avoid any risky behaviors that again could lead them into a negative path, and that could possibly turn into in court involvement in the future.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Emma Zirkle and Lisa Shields with the West Bloomfield Youth Assistance, talking about the many fall scholarship opportunities that are available for students this year, as well as everything they do to help students in our community. Now, Emma, I'm sure with these scholarships, there have been many success stories and many great people who have gone on to great success from West Bloomfield. Do you know of any success stories or great resources or just great stories in general that have come from the youth assistance?
I'm going to choose not to answer that because we really want to respect all of our students' privacy. And I would hate to give anything away in that way. But maybe I could tell you about one of our upcoming educational programs we're planning. This year, we're going to be bringing in a resource through Therapyology, and we're going to be providing educational programs for parents on raising confident children. So, and our scholarships is definitely an important component of what we do, but we also recognize that we have to work with whole families. And so we do like to provide educational opportunities for parents. So this is going to be in-person programs. We're starting with the elementary school, and then we have some different programming we're going to work on for the middle schools as well. Parents can also go onto our website. We have a whole selection of videos called Parenting on the Go, which are really short interviews, just a few minutes, on very topic-specific content that can help parents with a range of issues dealing from young children up through high school.
Awesome. Always love to hear about these resources for everybody, especially the parents of these students in West Bloomfield. I got one more question before we wrap things up, and this question is for both of you. Looking ahead, how do you hope these scholarship programs continue to grow and benefit the West Bloomfield community? Emma, we'll start with you.
Okay, I take that back. We do have one scholarship example I'm going to give. We have the Rachel Ezekian Scholarship, and she was a former staff member who's devoted her absolute heart and soul to YA. And we provide scholarships for students to make it's a change maker scholarship. One of our students brought in a program on heart health, and we know that she actually was able to find students through their screening that needed additional medical observation that may not have gotten it if they hadn't done the heart screening through our program. And then another student is using the funds to create a care closet in an elementary school so that students who are in need can go shopping for basic necessities there, whether it's toothpaste and a toothbrush or a new pair of gloves or a jacket. There will be items there. And both of those have been subsidized by YA, but really the efforts were done by those students, and those students now have gained some skills to help them become community leaders.
Well, we wish both those students best of luck on their success. Lisa, same question.
So as Emma had mentioned earlier, we are a community-based program and we rely on funding from the circuit court as well as our school district and West Bloomfield Township. But we also lean on donations. So with the community involvement of other businesses, having those donations will help us to provide even more scholarships for young people. So again, more scholarships for more activities for young people to enjoy and learn from. So that's what I would like to see in the future is more funding so that we can have more scholarships.
Of course, more funding for more scholarships. Can't wait to see it. Emma, Lisa, thank you both so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Always love to hear about these incredible resources helping out the students of Greater West Bloomfield. Hope to see a lot of great scholarship requests come in the next few months as a lot of people start planning for their college careers. For residents who are looking to save money on costs with electric vehicles, a rebate was recently put into effect by DTE Energy to help you save money. DTE Energy offers a rebate to offset both the purchase and installation cost of an eligible Level 2 EV charger at home. I recently spoke with Milena Kabashi, the manager for transportation electrification at DTE Energy, to learn more. Milena, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely. It's a great conversation. It's a very eco-friendly conversation. A lot of people are very, very curious about this. So I'll jump right into it. What inspired DTE Energy to launch the Home EV Charger Rebate Program, and what would you say are its main goals?
Yeah, great question. The Home EV Charger Rebate Program was inspired by our commitment to making EV ownership more accessible and affordable. Our main goals are to cover the upfront cost of installing a home EV charger for our low-income customers, and also encourage more people to switch to EVs and ultimately contributing to a cleaner and greener Michigan.
Great, and we are seeing a lot more electric vehicles on the roads, especially within the last few years. Could you walk us through how the rebate program works from application to installation?
Absolutely, and the process is quite straightforward. If you qualify as an income eligible customer, you first, as a customer, you would purchase or lease an EV and install a qualified Level 2 Energy Star certified EV charger at the home. Then the customer can apply for the rebate online by providing proof of purchase and installation. Once the application is approved, the customer receives a rebate that can cover the cost of the charger and the installation. It's that simple. We also offer a home EV charger installation program that provides a free online installation quote and handles the permitting and installation process, making it even easier for our customers.
It sounds like a very easy program. And with something like this, how would you say that this program makes electric vehicle ownership more accessible for families in Greater West Bloomfield?
Yeah, for income eligible customers, by covering the upfront cost of installing home EV chargers, our program makes it easier for families to switch to electric vehicles. And this is especially important in areas like Greater West Bloomfield, where many residents are looking for ways to reduce the carbon footprint and save on fuel costs. And with a rebate, families can enjoy the benefits of EV ownership while also saving money on the cost of the EV charger and professional installation.
Interesting. Now, of course, other companies also have rebate programs, also dedicated to helping electric vehicle incentives. What would you say makes this one unique compared to some of those other programs in Michigan?
Yeah, great question. What sets our program apart is our comprehensive approach. Not only do we offer financial incentives, but we also provide educational resources and support to help customers understand the benefits of EVs. Why should they really care about EVs, and how to make the most of the new chargers and the available incentives and rebates. Additionally, our program is designed to support low-income households and renters, ensuring that we break down barriers to adoption and create more opportunities to participate in the transition to cleaner transportation.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Transportation Electrification Manager for DTE Energy, Milena Kabashi, talking about the DTE Energy rebate program that is currently in effect for owners and drivers of electric vehicles. Now, Milena, are there specific benefits for households that might have tighter budgets or lower income levels that are also looking to participate?
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. We understand that the initial cost of switching to an EV can be a barrier for some households. And that's why we offer additional, more robust rebates and incentives for low-income customers. In addition to the home EV charger rebate, we also provide rebates up to $14,400 per level 2 port for income-eligible multifamily properties and up to $70,000 per charger for en-route public DC fast charging in rural communities and disadvantaged communities. And so these programs really help low-income customers save money on their transportation costs by reducing the upfront costs of EVs and charging infrastructure. And by adopting EVs, customers can really benefit from lower fuel and maintenance costs compared to the traditional ICE or gasoline vehicles. Additionally, these initiatives contribute to a more sustainable environment by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And here at DTE, we also provide a lot of educational resources and outreach programs to help customers understand the benefits of EVs and how to make the most of the available resources.
I love that. I mean, especially with a program like this where you're wanting to cut back on a lot of those harmful gases that traditional cars emit. And with the rise of electric vehicles, it's good that you're making it so that everybody is able to participate in this program and that everybody can help do their part to help make the world a cleaner place. And I am curious, what has been the response? What have you seen from West Bloomfield area residents so far with this rebate program?
Yeah, I would say the response has been very positive. Looking at the historical participation from residents in West Bloomfield area, we can tell that they're very excited about the opportunity to switch to electric vehicles and take advantage of the rebates and incentives that we have available and we're offering. We've seen robust participation in a number of applications for the rebate program with about 400 residential customers participating, and we've had over 60 public charger rebates. The first commercial EV site in West Bloomfield participating in our rebate program was completed back in May of 2021, but since then we've provided rebates for about 64 public level 2 chargers, charger ports totaling roughly about $132,000 that we've been able to give back to the community in form of rebates. The largest site that we've seen participating with our commercial EV charger rebate program was for 40 level 2 chargers at a multi-unit property. We've also supported projects ranging from large hospitals, schools, along with workplace and retail locations. So definitely lots of excitement around EVs.
Sounds like it. And it sounds like this program has already made such an impact in West Bloomfield. Of course, we want to see this sustained. We want to see this in the future. So how do you see this rebate program shaping the future of local infrastructure and sustainability initiatives?
Yeah, our rebate program is really just one part of our broader efforts to promote sustainability and improve local infrastructure. By encouraging more people to switch to EVs, we are helping to decrease greenhouse emissions, and this really in turn supports the development of a cleaner and more sustainable energy grid. Additionally, the increased use of EVs will drive the need for more charging infrastructure, which will further support the growth of clean energy initiatives in the area.
I love it. And Milena, I'm curious, how would you say this program can help West Bloomfield become a leader in clean energy and EV adoption?
Yeah, by making EV ownership more accessible and affordable, our program is helping to position West Bloomfield as a leader in clean energy and EV adoption. The community's enthusiastic response to the program really demonstrates a strong commitment to sustainability, but also willingness to embrace new technologies. And as more residents switch over to EVs and take advantage of our rebates and incentives, West Bloomfield will serve as a model for other communities that are looking to promote clean energy and reduce their carbon footprint. We also provide businesses with EV charger rebates, so then they too can also participate in helping getting West Bloomfield on the charger map.
That's right. Everybody is doing their part. Once again, Milena Kabashi, the manager of transportation electrification with DTE Energy, is joining us on the Splash Live to talk about the DTE Energy electric vehicle rebate program. I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up, Milena. What advice would you give to residents who are maybe a little bit curious about switching to an EV, but maybe feel a little intimidated by the costs and by the process?
Yeah, so my advice would be take advantage of the resources that are available through our program. Start by exploring the rebates and incentives we offer. Visit our webpage, which all of these available resources can significantly reduce the upfront cost of switching to an EV. Additionally, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. We have a dedicated EV team that is ready and available for guidance and assistance. We're here to help make the transition as smooth and as affordable as possible. And remember, switching to an EV not only benefits the environment, but can also save customers money on fuel and maintenance costs in the long run. And we know that EVs and sustainability are beneficial for everyone, regardless of income level. And by adopting EVs and participating in these programs, folks can reduce their transportation costs and improve the comfort of their homes with affordable and efficient charging solutions. A couple of points I want to make here.
Of course.
EV fuel is produced in Michigan by Michiganders, which stimulates local and statewide economy. And additionally, residential customers that we've seen that are current EV owners and are able to charge at home overnight or off-peak, where the car naturally dwells in your garage, and participating with one of our DTE time-of-day rate plans are paying the e-gallon equivalent, what we're seeing on average about $1 a quarter a gallon, which allows them to save money on fuel and spend it in other ways. And lastly, widespread adoption of EVs helps to create a cleaner and more efficient energy grid, which really is benefiting the entire community.
Well, we love to see how much this program is benefiting the community, and we thank DTE Energy for providing all these great resources. You touched on it just a second ago, Milena, but real quick, where can people go to gain a little more information about this program?
Yeah, absolutely. Our residential customers can visit dteenergy.com/EVs. or EV. Our business customers or commercial customers can visit dteenergy.com/EVBiz.
That's the place to go, and that's the place where you can gain more information to help make your mark in helping to make the world a cleaner place. Milena, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to seeing you drive an EV.
Once again, the website is dteenergy.com/EV to learn more information about this program, and a program that's hopefully going to help cause the rise of electric vehicles in our community and helping to save the environment one car at a time. With the 2025 school year underway, everyone is starting to get used to the rhythm of getting up, heading to the bus stops, and watching their kids begin their school days. But it's important for all families in Greater West Bloomfield to be aware of the importance of school bus safety, and that both they and their kids are following important rules. I recently spoke with the general manager of Durham School Services, Tanisha Thomas, and their safety training supervisor, Sheila Burns, to hear what parents and kids should be doing. Adams. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Glad to have you both with us. Very, very important conversation, especially around this time of the year. Tanisha, I'm going to start with you. As the new school year begins, what would you say are the top safety reminders you'd like to share with both students and with parents?
For one thing, a couple of things we like to share with our parents is be alert around the school bus. Never pass a school bus that is loading and unloading our students, and communicate and stay connected with our district and our transportation, and always know your pickup and drop off times. We at the district have a bus app, which is Bus Zone, that is accurate in following the school bus, so our students never have to worry about where the bus is. So always communicate, and we'll all be on the same page.
All great resources to make sure that families are up to date on where the bus is and making sure that schedules are being followed. Now, Sheila,
Absolutely.
It's also important for not just for families to be aware of this information, but also for the drivers who are alongside the road every day, who are trying to get to work, that have to navigate around these school buses. What steps should drivers take to ensure that they're following proper safety laws around school buses?
Yeah, some of the common violations that we see are drivers running red lights that are flashing and, trying to get out around the school bus because they know it's going to be stopping. When the alternate yellow lights are flashing, they're trying to speed around and beat the bus. The best practice is just to, if you see the lights flashing, is to slow down and prepare to stop, because that school bus is getting ready to stop and pick up kids. You never know what area or where kids are coming from. So if you see the lights flashing, the best practice is to prepare to stop.
What would you say are maybe some of them?
Also,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Also,
No, go for it.
When approaching a bus stop that does have its red lights on, it's the idea is to stop at least 20 feet from that bus. So
20 feet from the bus. Yes, important information for everyone to be aware of. What would you say are maybe some of the most common safety violations that drivers tend to make around buses, and how can they be prevented?
The common safety violations would be running the red lights, brushing up on traffic laws, as far as school bus safety. And never, it doesn't hurt to always, get a reminder. You always want to drive safe speeds when you're near schools or in a school speed zone. You want to make sure that you're following those safety speeds. It's just being aware of what is going on around you can help prevent a lot of accidents. So. Just being more aware.
That's absolutely right. That is the most important thing for everybody to remember, especially when you're out on the road and a lot of stuff's happening. Make sure you know where everything is and make sure that you're not causing any accidents. Tanisha, I'm going to jump over to you. How are bus drivers trained to handle emergencies or unexpected situations that might arise during their bus routes?
So all our drivers are trained thoroughly. During the summertime, we have our drivers come in for safety meetings, training, CPR, first aid, any type of disaster training. They are trained with steps in how to have a great outcome.
All right, good to know that the bus drivers are up to date with all this information, and to make sure that they are ready for the school year. And are there any new safety protocols or technologies being implemented on the school buses for this year?
Not on our school buses, but we do, if a lot of parents is not aware of our white sticker on the side of the bus, it is a $500 fine if any
any parents step on our buses. So we like to get that out there to our parents that if they have questions and they want to speak to the driver, just either call transportation and we can answer all the questions we can, or go to the driver's side window before stepping on the school bus. We don't want our parents to get fined the $500.
Absolutely not. $500. That is a pretty hefty fine and definitely something that everybody should be made aware of. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the general manager and the safety training supervisor with Durham School Services, Tanisha Thomas and Sheila Burns, talking about school bus safety, especially as the 2025 school year is currently underway. Now, Sheila, what role would you say parents can play in teaching their children about how to safely get on and off the school bus and about just proper bus etiquette altogether?
Parents, they play a vital role in teaching their students school bus safety. They're role models. Students look to their parents to help guide them to the bus and ensure, parents should ensure that kids understand the safety rules, such as, not running after a school bus if they've missed the bus stop, making sure that they're looking before, they cross the road to get on the bus, that they're boarding one at a time, that they're using the handrails and sitting down. There are many bus rules that parents can help reiterate at home that will make the ride safer for the student. So, setting a good example and speaking with your student about proper, bus safety, it will really help kids have a safe bus ride. So.
That's absolutely right. And what should children do if maybe there's a scenario where they're feeling unsafe or they're experiencing bullying while riding on the bus?
We try to make sure everyone is aware that they can approach the bus driver at any time and let the bus driver know that they're having an issue on the bus. If they don't feel comfortable coming to the bus driver, you can always tell mom or dad or a parent, and the parent can call transportation and relay that there's an issue going on, or they can inform someone in the school. But they should always tell a trusted adult.
Of course, always voice your concerns and make sure that people are aware if you are experiencing difficulties. Now, Tanisha, yes, you were talking about an app a little bit earlier in the interview that parents can use to monitor the buses and to be aware of schedules. Could you go into detail on that a little bit more?
Sure. So we have launched an app that is called Bus Zone, 2 words. It launched last year, 2024, at the end of 2024, but it is helping our parents to be able to track the bus. And as long as they set up it correctly, they would need their student ID number, which we can, at the transportation, cannot give it to them, but they can contact their school or go into their Power School, and get that student ID. Also, on the school district website, they have an access code that all parents should be able to see on their website, and they need to, if they don't know their student route number, they can always call transportation. I have talked to many parents, and I am here waiting for any parents that are having trouble that cannot track a bus to be able to make sure that they're set up properly. And they have these alert zones that all parents have to set up each route that they want to follow. Alert zones have to be set up, or they will only get a 1-hour window, which is knowing when the child is arriving to school and leaving the school. So it is an awesome app. I have it on my phone, so I track a lot of my buses to make sure that our app is working each and every day. Today we had a late start, so it was a 2-hour delay, and our parents was able to track the bus still. So it is a outstanding app, and it allows our parents to be more informed where the bus is at all times.
It definitely sounds like it. Have you heard any feedback from parents on their thoughts on the app?
Now, I have had some feedback on the app. I have some parents that have reached out to me, and I had to troubleshoot with them because they only set up partial of their app, which is they didn't set up the alert zones. And another thing, they need to turn on a push notifications. That's another way the app communicate with them to inform them that the bus is in their zone, and also set up the arrival to school and departure from the school.
Great resources for the people of Greater West Bloomfield. That's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for helping to make this show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.